Hey everybody, I thought I'd go live in this group because I haven't used that feature in groups yet. My dogs are really excited that I'm going live. I wanted to come at you and give you a second way to create your first Oracle card. So I've got two of my decks here. This is my Layers of Healing deck and this is my Messages of Meow deck. The Messages of Meow deck, I of course designed the back and I did cat portraits of all actual pets to bring their wisdom through because I'm passionate about animals. So start to think about what you're passionate about. My other deck came through because I'm passionate about my intuitive artwork, and so I took a series of paintings and they all brought messages through. So the way that I did my cards was that I did something that I loved. I incorporated something that I absolutely love, something that's my wisdom, my medicine, just like you as coaches and healers will each have your specific wisdom or medicine. So I took something that's already mine, that's my energy, and I brought it through into form. But another way that you can go about it, if you don't want to do the imagery first and then bring messages, is to actually have your messages, your affirmations, your coaching tools, and then to create art based on those. So the first thing I want you to do is you can draw out about a, roughly 3 by 5 rectangle on a piece of paper. I'm just going to use one of my Oracle cards and roughly trace around it. The reason I do this is that so you can kind of create art to scale. This is something you can do super quickly so you don't have to worry about all kinds of complicated graphics programs. So I am just outlining a rough outline of the card shape, and I'm doing the same thing for another one. And then I'm just demonstrating how you could take a coaching tool or an affirmation or a mantra and create the art from there. We're going to do this really fast. You can take as long as you want to create the cards. Honestly, I mean, each of my animal portraits, each of my cat and dog portraits took me a couple hours, and then I did all the design work. So I took a lot of time on my cards, but you don't have to. And you don't need to have all of the graphic wizardry nailed down in order to do it either. What I'm suggesting is that we create our messages, we channel art based on those messages and in our intention, and then all you have to do is take a photo of your art, use an app on your phone to do any color correction you need. You could use WordSwag even to add text on top of your artwork. And then you've got the file ready to upload to a service that's print on demand. No investment on your end. You don't have to save up thousands of dollars. You don't have to worry about hiring artists, hiring designers. You have the power. So that's what we're going to bring through now. So I've got two cards here that are coming through. Let's say that I want to do affirmations that are powerful for me. And I'm therefore going to be spreading my wisdom, what's powerful for me, what's effective for me, into the world. Because having your own deck, can you imagine giving these out to all of your new clients as a sign-on bonus, for a certain package? Can you imagine for one of your courses having a deck that has, affirmations that are specific to a certain module, or has certain steps lined out, or maybe has pictures of crystals, or has a different ritual for each phase of your program. There are so many ways that you could get your wisdom and your magic into deck form and then be able to sell it online, sell it on your website, have your clients directly purchase from your sales page, from the print on demand service. There are so many ways to get your magic out there and for it not to be a big deal, because we make it a big deal. Because everybody sees Doreen Virtue's cards or Colette Baron Reed's cards, and they're absolutely gorgeous, but Doreen Virtue doesn't do her own artwork. She gets artwork submitted to her for free, and she's also supported by Hay House. So she's not like us. We have magic to share even when we're not yet in her position. There is no need for us to wait until some nebulous time in the future when we may or may not have the resources we think we need, because the thinking is the problem. It's about coming down into our heart and realizing that we have so much to share from here. I just noticed I have paint all over my hands because I was working on a new painting earlier, which may or may not become the cover for another Oracle deck. So for my first affirmation, I am going to just kind of close my eyes and center, and I invite you to do this with me as well. and just ask if there is a piece of my wisdom and my medicine that I can bring through right now in the form of an affirmation or a statement. What would that affirmation or statement be? And what is coming through for me? Just honor the first thing that comes. Don't question it. Write it down. Type it up. So what's coming through for me is I honor my natural rhythms and invite the universe to support me as I support myself. So that is the affirmation that's come through for me. I just scribbled it down here because I'm actually going to write it on the card. So the first card I'm going to write first, and then I'm going to intuitive art around it. The second one, I'm going to intuitive art and then write the affirmation on top. So there's many ways you can go about this. Super easy again. So I'm just going to take this affirmation. I'm going to move over to the side so you guys can see me, although this may not be perfect because I'm trying to make it so you can see me. So I honor my natural rhythms and invite the universe to support me as I support myself. I'm just going to circle the words that jump out at me because I'm going to emphasize those. I honor my natural rhythms and universe to support me. All right, so I'm just going to make those big. I honor. And again, you can make your cards as complicated as you want. I'm making them simple. I honor my natural rhythms and invite the universe to support me. And invite. So I am just playing. You could use a pencil and come back and, you know, make it more formal later. Again, I just want to show you how fast it can be, how easy it can be. And invite. Invite the universe to support me. And I might actually follow my intuition and cut this short. To support me. So that will be my first card. And the next thing I'm going to do is, because I did just intuitively make outlines of the letters, that wasn't conscious, so I'm honoring that that was something that needed to come through. I am using these crayons just to show you that you can use any supply as well. You don't need fancy supplies. These are actually watercolor crayons. However, the effect will be very similar to regular crayons. So I invite, and just noticing what color my eye is drawn to. And then in terms of intuiting the rest of the design of your card, it's really a matter of having your tools available and then tuning in and just kind of asking what the next step would be. Asking, what color should I use next? Looking down at your available colors and then pulling one out. And then I am just asking kind of where this color wants to go. And it can be scribbly, you can take your time and make it very precise. You can do drafts and then create a final one. Again, I am just showing you how quickly you can make one card, but you don't have to follow this process. You don't have to do it this quickly. If you want to take more time, please honor that intuition and do so. And I'm feeling like pink is coming, so then I'm using a pink. Invite. So this is just one way that I've got my wisdom on a card, right? And then I would take my phone I might play around with this a little bit more. I would probably go through and darken some of the letters so that they really stand out. Then I would just take a picture of my phone, use the crop function to crop it out. And the other important thing to realize is when you're printing with print on demand service, they will usually trim it a little bit, so don't put anything too close to the edges. I might have cut it a little close there, but I could always just extend my design a little bit, put some color outside the end, so that when they trim it, there won't be any white marks and that I won't be losing any text. So this is one quick way. The second way is if I've got, I ask, if there's another piece of my wisdom that I can put into intention or affirmation form that wants to come through now and that wants to be used for this second demo card. So I'm just asking and tuning in, and I'm doing my heart is the center of my creations. So that's the second card that is coming through for me. So this time, instead of writing first and then putting color on top, I'm going to add intuitively my artwork. So I'm going to look down at my colors, which are available, and I'm going to notice where my eye is drawn immediately. My eye is immediately drawn to this red, so I'm pulling it out. And then as I'm creating intuitively, I'm just going to ask, what marks, what movements feel good? Do I want to make circles? Do I feel like shading? Do I feel like making lines? And I'm just going to start playing, because the whole idea is to get into play and joy and fun. That's the vibrational state, the frequency in which we're most available to all of the potentials which are coming our way. So joy, play, delight, and fun, super important. Then I felt like putting this color down, so I look at my crayons again, and I open my eyes and notice my eyes drawn to this green, my eyes drawn to this blue, and my eye is drawn back to this pink. So I'm using the pink first. Again, just feeling around for where the color wants to go. And feeling like putting that one down with the next color. Again, I just feel for where that color wants to go. And the key is fun. I'm having fun. Make sure the marks you're making are fun, that you're asking questions, you're feeling curious, you're feeling playful. And I've got my color down. Now, I'm not sure if my Sharpie is going to work, so I'm actually on top of my crayon. So I am going to use a paint pen. I have these paint pens. These are delightful to use. I actually get them on Amazon. They're Posca. This is the medium size. I like the thin size as well, and the fat size, because you can't have too many art supplies to play with, right? If the goal is to get into play and joy and to just have fun, then any supplies that you can pick up that get you into that playful, curious, joyful state are perfect. So I've done my second little color field. If I wanted to, again, I could smooth it out. I could add some water. However, I'm just showing you this can be super quick. It's easy, I promise you, so join in the fun with me. And then my little intention affirmation that I brought through when I asked the question and tuned in for the answer, I'm going to write my affirmation on top. So my heart is the center of my creations. So I'm going to do my heart. My heart is the center of my, and then I want to use a different color for the last part. So my heart is the center of, my intuition is telling me to pick up another color, so I am. So my heart is the center of my creations. And I'm probably going to outline around that a little bit more. You can go back and add, if I feel like adding some dots, etc. I'm doing these super fast. Again, the decks that I created took a long time, like my Layers of Healing deck. Each one of these cards is a complete full painting of different sizes. So these took, quite a while to create. So you can take as long as you want. You can take as little time as you want. Again, these I created the art and then I let the words. Oh, thanks, Deborah. I let the words and then the messages, which I put in the booklet, come through based on the artwork that I'd already created. So again, spend as much or as little time as you want creating these pieces, but all I did for these cards was to create the art, and then I literally took a photo with my phone. I did bring it into Photoshop because Photoshop is my program of choice, but like I teach in my Create Your Own Oracle Deck course, I take you through either using Canva or using Photoshop. Video tutorials where you go into the program, I show you how to create the files, you upload them. So that part is not that difficult. It's the technical piece. What I'm guiding you to is this creative piece, this channeled piece, this I am wise and I am magical, and gosh darn it, my wisdom needs to get in the world now piece. So it could be this simple. I could go back again, you know, and I could add little accents. So you can continue to work with these cards. But again, just to review, so in the first card demo, these are about roughly 3 by 5. I think it's 2.75 by 4.75 inches. Make yourself a rectangle. Tune in and ask, you know, if there's a piece of my wisdom, my unique magic, my divine soul expression that could come through right now in an affirmation or mantra form, what would that be? Allow it to come through. In the first example, I wrote it down first and then allowed myself to intuitively choose colors and just kind of scribble around it to add the color. For the second one, I asked that same question, what other piece of my own personal wisdom and magic wanted to come through in divine soul expression form. I got my heart as the center of my creations. I did the art intuitively first, and then I added the words on top. So that's 2 ways that you can work with this. Choosing a message, or you could do the same thing with a certain step or a certain module in your program. You know, what step is this? And then ask, how does that step want to be expressed artistically? Or if I were to embody this mantra, if I were to embody this step in my program or my course or my coaching, how would that manifest if I channeled it through into art? And then allow your intuition to lead you as you create art based on that. And then you can add text this way. You can also, of course, just create the art, take a photo with your phone, crop it, bring it into WordSwag or some other program, you know, upload it to Canva, and then add words on top of it that way. Totally fine. Again, I'm showing you how quick and fast and easy it can be, and hopefully inspiring you to realize that you have much more magic than you probably ever realized, and that you have even probably dreamed about. So one way to step into that is by creating something that you can share with the world in a bigger way. Thanks so much for joining me, and I hope that was inspiring. Talk to you later.